Welcome to Happier SLF, a channel dedicated to your happier self, which begins with self-love. Today in this video, I'm going to share with you one of the effective things that I've done to actually increase my self-love. I'm also going to introduce a good book on how to actually learn to love yourself. So a lot of people know how important self-love is, and I'm guessing that you probably do too, hence why you're watching this video. But something that a lot of people still ask and don't know about is, how do you actually begin to learn to love yourself? What exactly do you do to increase your self-love? That's what this video is going to talk about. My exercise that I'm going to share with you, plain and simple, is basically delivering the message of love to myself. But if you have attempted to do this before, you probably know that standing in front of a mirror and saying I love you isn't really going to do it for you. So I'm going to apply my two-part model to it to actually make it work. My general model for effective self-love practice, as you may remember from my previous videos, has two parts to it. Part one is dealing with the resistance and with the obstacles, okay, and removing them. Part two is the implementation part, which has to do with giving yourself actively that love and receiving it. So first, let's talk about dealing with the resistance and the obstacles. I'm going to start this with a really nice quote that I like from Rumi, who is a well-known mystic, Persian mystic. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So how do you find those barriers? One of the things that I did that really worked for me, and I recommend to you, is I went in front of the mirror, direct eye contact, and I said to myself, I love you. Simply, I love you, direct eye contact. Maybe just listening to this is making you cringe, right? That's coming from a resistance. So if you go and do this exercise, chances are you're going to feel some sort of resistance. You're going to feel discomfort, you're going to feel yucky, you're going to want to deal with that stuff. One of the common obstacles that people often have is a lack of self-compassion and the feeling that you don't deserve love, the belief that you don't deserve love. I've made two separate videos on that to help you work on those, and I'm going to put them in the description section. One of them is called Self-Compassion, the what, why, and how, and the other one is called What is There to Love About Me? I won't be able to get into those in this video, so I'll put it in the comment section, check it out. It will have a lot of this in it. Another common obstacle, which is especially prevalent with men, is the belief that self-love is some gooey that they associate with weakness, which is actually the opposite of the truth. No one is as strong, badass, and dangerous as a person who's independent and not needy of others for feeling loved and for feeling good about themselves. And that comes through self-love. Because once you have it in you, once you already feel loved, then you can easily walk away from relationships and people who just don't work for you. Okay, so that's for the resistance part. You definitely, the two-part model. First part, you definitely want to look and see what's in there that is blocking you from giving yourself love and receiving love from yourself, okay? And the second part is the active part where you get to implement self-love. And that's the reason why I made this video. So once you're ready, you want to find the way that you feel most loved. Is it through words? Would it be through writing to yourself? Would it be through touch? What is it that conveys love to you? And you want to deliver that to yourself through those means. For me, the mirror exercise that I talked about was super effective because I need tangible, right? So in the mirror, I see myself, it's visual, it's auditory because I say things, okay? I would stand in front of the mirror, direct eye contact, and say, I love you, or you are a beautiful person, or you're lovable, right? And I'm also a very tactile person. Touching has a lot of effect on me, so I would go like this many times, right? As I'm saying that to myself. I know it looks funny, it might sound funny, but look, we are receptive to touch. And actually, research has shown that giving yourself that touch has that positive effect that you can get from the touch of other people. Maybe to a different degree, but who knows with practice how much you can change that. So I kept repeatedly doing this, and it's important, whatever you do, however you deliver this to yourself, you want to make sure that you focus on learning to feel it as you give yourself that message. I've said this in previous videos as well. It's very important not to just like robotically do it, but to actually feel it and receive it. So I want to reiterate this because it's important that you're most likely going to feel some resistance, okay? And it's important to look into it and see where it's coming from. You might, as you're doing this, face feelings of fear or disgust, right? And it might take some time. Even if you take time to explore those and to dig into it and to understand it and remove it and be convinced that you're lovable and you can now accept love, you're still gonna have some yucky feelings. You're not used to saying loving things to yourself. It feels awkward. This is where I say, you gotta do it anyway. One of the most important tips that I could give you on your path to growing your self-love is this stuff is not going to happen painlessly, which is why most people do not come to a place of self-love, unfortunately, because like all other fundamental changes, making this change requires stepping out of your comfort zone. So you better get ready for some awkward feelings, for some fear, and anything else that comes with it, because that's your old conditioning. And you have to be willing to face it in order to get used to it and to step forward until they're gone. You also have to do this, the exercise of giving yourself love, messages of love, repeatedly over and over and over again. I'm sure you know that decades of negative association is not going to be undone overnight. So what do you need for all that? For the willingness to step out of your comfort zone and to repeat something over and over until you see that growth. You need motivation. I wish I could deliver that to you. I wish I had a way of showing you the incredible amount of joy and freedom that comes with learning to love yourself. That makes it absolutely worth the work that you put in. So I guess just take my word for it. It is a waste of a good life not to learn how to truly and deeply love yourself and to live with that self-love. So as I promised, I have a good book to introduce to you on this topic, which can be used as a complement to this video or instead of this video. The book is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal Ravikant. I hope I pronounced it right. I have introduced another book previously by Kristin Neff called Self-Compassion. That one has to do with the first part of the two-part model that I talked about, which is dealing with the resistance, learning to have self-compassion, learning to allow yourself to be kind to yourself, ultimately clearing the path to self-love. This book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It, is about the part 2, which is implementing that self-love. It includes good meditation on feeling love and giving yourself love that you can do on a daily basis, so I recommend it. Before I end this video, I wanted to tell you about one other important part of my story, which is therapy, which could be a very useful tool, incredibly effective in learning to love yourself more. And my next video will be about that, about how therapy can help you both with the obstacles that make it difficult for you to love yourself, and also to coming to actually truly actively love yourself. Okay? If you find my videos useful and would like to be informed when I put new ones out, don't forget to hit subscribe and then the bell button so that you'll get notifications when they come out. Have a beautiful day. I hope you choose to start working on your self-love on this beautiful day.